Well, here's my first attempt at doing one of the corners. Bonsai corner, as I call it. Not banzai, bonsai. Two very different things. Those in the know will understand. Yeah, so it was an experience. I first started with I painted first with some brown, this stuff here, some acrylic brown. Okay, in a wash, a 50-50 wash. So watered down 50%. That went fine, of course. Then I used oh sorry, no, see, I'm mixing myself up now. Correction. I first painted grey. Okay, I painted the whole thing grey. Same paint, acrylic grey. Then I put in some highlights with the brown. Like you know, these bits were supposed to represent water running down towards the ground from the hill. So that all went very well. And then I've done my black wash, which I have in this jar here, which is just mixed. You can see it's quite watery. But I mixed that 5-to-1, 4-to-1 or 5-to-1, and then painted over. And everything went black. It all went black. I lost my highlights, I lost my browns, everything just went black. Eventually it came a little bit dark, very dark grey. So that's fair enough, because my track is based in a quarry and a mountain. So I thought, yeah, it's like slate colour. So I thought, okay, I can start all over again, or I can leave it as it is. So I was on Pete's channel on Sunday. So Track Fans TV, and I was talking to Tara King, our gal who paints all the figures and does wonderful painting of the figures. And Tara said to me, I was saying I'd done it all, painted it black, and it turned out terrible. So Tara said to me, dry brush the highlights, you know. So that's what I done. I decided to dry brush. I mixed some of this cream, okay, and some of this brown together, and I dry brushed in here to try and get back this water effect, and it worked. Very dry brush, it worked. And then so Tara was saying, finish off with a white dry brush, very dry brush, almost no paint on the brush at all, very dry, and just sort of, you know, just breeze the brush over it like that, and it worked. So now look, you can see, you know, you can see the water where it's run down and things like that. Now listen guys, for my first time ever doing this, I'm very pleased with it. Don't mind the tree. I will be weathering the tree. I got this in the local shop. It was like a little ornament. It was in a little pot. And that was it, just in a pot. And I just decided, why not incorporate? I bought two of them. I got this one, and one which is just green, which I prefer. This one's a bit too plasticky looking. So I'll spray this up to look darker and put some of this matte paint on it or something. But I just thought, you know, there's the corner with the tree. It certainly sets it off. And it goes with the name of the corner, Bonsai Corner. So that's it, guys. That's my first piece. Now, I will actually show you the process of painting the next piece. So bear with me and we'll get on to that next. So here's my bigger piece, and I'm starting to do this second piece. So that's the that's what I'm using, and that's a 50-50 wash of grey. So I'm just sort of splashing this on, and it's running down into the gaps and whatever. Almost sound like I know what I'm doing, don't I? So so I'm just letting this go in, and it's soaking into the plaster and into the grooves and crevices and whatever I have on my effort to make a cliffside. a rock cliffside, of course, because this is representing a track in a quarry, a mountain track that's built in a quarry. We can change the specifics of our track to suit our scenery. Okay, sorry, phone jumping around. Okay, let's flick. So, that's the stuff there. Okay. I could have put a bit of black into the grey to make it darker. But after doing the first piece, I noticed that when I done the black wash, it went very dark. So I don't think I want to make this any darker at this stage. Now, once again, guys, as I said, this is me doing it. If you want to see how it's supposed to be done, check out Boone's channel. That's how it's supposed to be done. But I have to say, my first piece turned out quite well, as you saw. For the very first time I've ever done any scenery ever, I was pleasantly surprised. And you can make all sorts of excuses for how dark the rock is. It's quarry rock. And in Latvia, we have a very black type of quarry rock. Going back to the prehistoric days. Days of the dinosaurs. Even before the dinosaurs. So there you go. Can you prove? Can you prove that it's wrong, Professor? I feel like I got it wrong again. So that's what I'm doing. So I just thought I'd show you. This is my amateur effort at doing this. And I'm having fun doing something I've never done before. I had model railways in the past, N gauge, ON 30 gauge, and OO gauge. And I always built my tracks. I built baseboards. I started doing my track builds, and I stopped. With model trains, I think I like the idea of collecting them. I love the British Rail steam engines and the American diesels, you know. Not the modern stuff, all the older stuff. And so a number of times I've built railway layouts, I've put the track down, I've had the trains running, but I've never done scenery. And I've never done scenery on my slotcar tracks that I've had in the past. So here we are. A learning process, and you're joining me with it. I'm going to pause this for a minute. I'll finish this bit, and I'll come back to the bit where I'm trying to do the browns. So I have some of this brown, and I'm sort of a 50-50 mix. And I don't know, I'm trying to get the effect of where the water has come down at various places. The idea of this was to have a sort of a water coming down. I think I'll dry this brush a bit more. And try and get this a bit more lifelike. Yeah, it's a bit better. So these are just supposed to represent areas where water has come down from what is going to be the parking area up here, and water has flowed down. Now that there looks like another candidate for a bit of water coming down onto the track. Teacup. When you drink black tea and you drink a lot of it, your cup gets very black inside. Don't worry, it does get washed once a day. But I drink so much tea and I use 1 cup. I've seen people changing their cup every time they have a cup of tea. They have a sink with 10 cups and don't do that. I use the same cup. It's only me drinking out of it, so I'm only going to poison myself. So what are we going to do here? Maybe I'll do a little bit of this bit here. And maybe a little bit along here. How artistic am I? Yeah. So, okay. I don't want to go mad. Just a few places. I just want to... Oh, there's a spot there, look. I'm just dabbing the brush in and then I'm just taking a bit off it just to make sure I don't put too much on. There's a likely candidate there, a little bit of water running down there, I think. Maybe. What do you think, guys? Maybe. Yeah. A little bit here as well. Yeah. Okay, so I have this looking like this, which is looking very false indeed. Let me think, where else? We'll have some, a little bit there. I'm just going to blend that in a bit. Cheers, guys. Tea. Black tea. Stain your cup and stain your teeth. Be careful. Make sure you brush 3 times a day. Or twice a day. Whatever. Do you find yourself talking crap when you're busy doing stuff like this? Especially when you're filming? I don't know. Maybe I'll put something a little bit on this crack here. Oh, no, that's gone wrong there. Look, so I'll leave that. I won't touch that anymore. Maybe that's a bit too wet there still. Okay, now I notice I have a line here coming down, so I'm just going to try and dry my brush a bit. I'm just going to try and turn that into something. Make a feature of it. Now, that's a bit better, isn't it? I don't know. Okay, let's go with that. Now, look, I could change this. I'm going to put some grass in various, glue little pieces of flock or grass or some stuff along here just to represent where there's possible. You can imagine there might be some cracks in the rock face, you know, and because that's not taken there. Look, that's, you have to know when to stop, otherwise you're just pulling the grey off. Now, give that a couple of minutes and then I'm going to put the black wash on it. Now, the black brush. The first one I did was very dark. I has it 5:1 and it was very dark. This one is 10:1, so it's a huge amount of water and a tiny bit of black. So let's see how the next wash goes. I'll film that as I do it. We'll see how it turns out. So I went with on the top, I went with the 10:1 black. That was too much. So I've now made up this is about a 6:1. It's a little bit more water than the 5:1. And I think this is going to be better. I don't know. This seems to be coming along a bit nicer. So I think I'll use this mix and let's see how this turns out. It's very interesting doing this, and actually when you first put it on, you actually see if the water runs in the actual flow of where I thought maybe it'd be a natural flow of water. And also you can see the water going down there following what I thought might be the natural flow of the water. Super duper. So yeah, I'll do that. I'm not too worried about the top because the top is going to have some grass or something on top anyway. Or the concrete parking area or something. So I'm not too bothered about the top. Let's go across here. So I think now I can do some more little browns on these pieces here. On these pieces coming down from the hill. And then I could do what Tara was saying, which is whitewash, very dry. Not wash, white, dry white. Just breeze along the top of it with a very dry brush with white paint on it. And that'll make it pop a bit more. So once again, thanks to our wonderful community for how we all help each other. I'm very pleased with how this dried out. Really happy with that. So now, you get to a stage where do you dry brush it with some white to make it pop a bit and maybe ruin it, or just leave it like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little bit of very dry brush browns where the little water channels are. You know. What do you think, guys? Maybe I'll put some very light. See, this great, lovely texture on that. I'm very pleased with that. And it's a few pieces. I'm very pleased. So looks like some sort of porous rock. Yeah, it's a very dodgy quarry. This they never had good quality quarry stone from it. What the? Oh, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I think I'm gonna put some dry brush, some little browns and some whites on it to finish it. Let me see how that looks then. So just to give you a look at how that looks now. Okay, I'll put the barrier in that gap there. That's why I left the gap and put my barrier there. And there's the other one in the far corner. So, not bad for my first time. I'm happy enough with that. So, not finished yet, of course. You know, I have to put some greenery up here, or I might put a couple of trees or something up here, or I'm going to put my fence along the edge, along the cliff edge. So yeah, very pleased with that. Other pieces I'm making ready. I've just glued some pieces together there. Again, I'm going with what I had bought. I bought a few sheets of different sizes, so I'm using them together. I'm gluing this down to a baseboard. I've glued that piece there already, and this piece I've cut out for this corner here. So I'll be sanding those with some sandpaper to make them smooth, then plastering them, and then doing the painting process with them as well. So it's all beginning to come together. I didn't paint this end because I'll be putting, at the end of the track, I'll be putting some board, you know, and board along here as well. So nobody's going to see that. Maybe I should have painted it in hindsight, but I didn't. What I'd love to do is maybe find a background, A4 height backgrounds along here, some skies or a forest or something like that. So maybe I'll look online for some sort of a background scenic thing that's a few meters long, and that would just give that a nice look. If I had a forest along here, would be quite nice. So I think that's enough for this post, guys. It's the start of my scenery work, and I'm very happy how it's progressed. The next post I'll show you further progression. I don't know what I'll be doing in the next scenery post, the next baseboard build post, as I'm calling them. Let's see what I'm doing next. I have to do with my barriers. I have some stickers or some pieces of paper to stick onto the barriers, continental tires and stuff like that. And a few more bits to do. In here, I'll be using spray foam. This is where I'll really be doing what the Boone showed me. So I'll be, spray foam will go into this area. I'll have a bit of a hill here made from spray foam. Again, something completely new to me. Let's see how that goes. Okay guys, thanks for watching. And I hope I maybe inspired a few people who hadn't done scenery before to give it a go. That it's not completely, you know, it's not rocket science. It just takes a little bit of practice. And if I can get this on my second go, you know, this is the first piece I did, and this is my second piece. So I can do this with, you know, 1 hour's experience of doing it. So if I can do this, anybody can do it. All the best, folks. Greetings from Latvia, and I'll catch you on the next one.